Hi, everybody, and blessings on your Lion's Gate. Today is the zenith of the Lion's Gate. So the Lion's Gate starts on the, there's Lion's Gate today. Facebook joining us. So it starts on July the 26th and it ends on August the 12th. But today, the 8th day of the 8th month, is the zenith. So what is the Lion's Gate? It is considered the galactic new year, Nanu Nanu, and it is basically when the star system Sirius, very Sirius indeed, is close to Earth, and the pyramids of Giza were built to align with this celestial event every year. So it is a time when there is an influx of light onto the planet, and it's, if you will, a collective upgrade for our light bodies. So you can see the sun behind me. This is a wonderful day for sun worship, on the understanding that the sun is playing a very important part in our ascension process, and that is that the coronal flares that the sun is emitting actually release the chemical DMT in our brain. And the more our brain is flooded with DMT, the more the veils of illusion drop, and we can perceive dimensions beyond 3D. In other words, only being able to perceive through the 5 earthly senses, and being rationally, materially dominant. So, you know, if you want to accelerate your ascension process, worship the sun. You know, we've been taught to fear the sun. This is part of an agenda to try and oppress the inevitable rising of the serpents of light within us, and the consciousness that comes when Kundalini, the serpent energy, that is the pure consciousness from Gaia, from within the earth, awakens through initiation within our own light body and opens the 7 gates, the chakras, which are the 7 eyes of God. In other words, they open these dimensional stargates within us to be able to perceive all aspects of our soul. So the 7 archetypal energies that together comprise our psyche, both feminine and masculine, and you know, being able to perceive other dimensional energies. So, you know, this is a great time to sit and close your eyes in the sun and welcome that sunlight in as mana to feed your light body, and to look at what this influx of light is illuminating for you, because often the light illuminates what is not integrated, what is not healed. And I've just been blessed to spend 3 days sitting in ceremony with women for the gate of Imbolc, which is the exact halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, which the exact date was yesterday, August the 7th, here in the Southern Hemisphere in Australia. And so we sat in circle doing ceremony to go to the depths and look at our core wounds, mother wound, father wound, and the wound of separation with spirit, in a 3-day red tent, so we could be ready for this Lion's Gate. So however you do your own rebirthing process, whether that's through breath work, through ceremony, through ritual, you know, chanting, art therapy, experiential processes, okay? Because the way of the mystic is through direct experience with the divine within us, with the divine all around us. So it's not about belief, it's not about dogma. And when we know the divine experientially, we don't doubt it. We don't shop around like a spiritual seeker trying on different off-the-shelf religions. We don't fear Judgment Day as, you know, a time when an external power will judge us as being good or bad, which is dualistic thinking, to be trapped in the 3D rational mind, the lower mind. Instead, this is an opportunity to be at one with ourselves. Okay, and I received an insight last week, which I feel to share with you, and that is, 11/11 is always celebrated on the 11th of November, but what came through for me is that it's actually the 11th day of the sun transiting through the 11th sign, which is Aquarius. So given that Leo, the sun is now moving through Leo, the opposite sign of Aquarius, a lot of us are being called to prepare for the Day of Atonement, for what in biblical terms is called Judgment Day. So how do we prepare? My understanding is that we do soul retrieval. We call back the fragments, the shards of our soul, which have been split off, splintered through trauma. And, the divide and conquer methodology, of the empire is to use that as an instrument of war. In other words, they help to fund the women's movement, to create division between the sexes, which I speak about in my latest book, The Grail. And then, everything from the industrial age has divided the family unit. And the last 2 years have really seen a division between friends and family. So the biggest thing we can do to prepare for our ascension, which is our quantum leap into the photon band, photons being particles of light, which is the shift into the Aquarian age. And if you want to find out more about that, you can go to my homepage, themoonwoman.com, and watch my free presentation, Shift into the Light, which was put out on 11/11/2021. So in order to prepare, we need to integrate all the facets of ourselves so that we can be at one with ourselves. All right, this isn't about trying to be good and get approval from the projection we've put on to the divine, that it is, what we have unhealed with our own mother-father relationship, that we're going to be punished if we don't get on the list, if we're not good enough, and that we'll be excluded, if we don't comply. So this is all what the wounded child operates in subconsciously, which rules us if we don't heal the mother-father wound. So, there's so many wonderful people that are dedicated now as facilitators, as healers. This is a really powerful time to prioritize your healing, the healing of your psyche, the healing of your energy field. We've got so much emphasis put on the physical, but the physical only shows up as having illness or dis-ease when there has been a fracturing on the energetic and the mental and the emotional bodies, the subtle bodies. So if we want to heal, we need to really work at that level, at the quantum level, which is the building blocks of the physical world. So, I really, I understand a lot of people are afraid at the moment. They, see the prophecies coming true, and the Bible was based on a more ancient text called Biblos, and then the Roman Empire wove into it its agenda. But and again, I speak about that in my latest book, The Grail, which you can access on Amazon in Kindle or paperback. But the prophecies themselves are true. There is a lot of truth in that book, but there's also a lot of distortion. So one needs to have activated their intuition to be able to discern truth from illusion. And that has certainly been the lesson in the last few years. So now is a time to come home to the heart, with Uranus conjunct the Great Awakener, the planet that is the ruling planet of the Aquarius age, conjunct the lunar node, the head of the cosmic serpent, where we're headed, our north on the compass as a collective, and it's in the sign of earthly love, the sign of the earth mother. So we're coming home to the heart, home to honoring our bodies as divine temples, not seeing them as separate from the divine, not trying to transcend our physical reality, not trying to purify ourselves so that we are not animals. We are half animals and we are half stellar beings. That's just who we are. So we have to love and accept our animal selves and revere our animal selves, the lower half of us, rather than seeing it as profane, unacceptable, judging ourselves for wanting to eat flesh. You know, of course animals eat flesh, you know, and when we have it in our mind that our animal self is less than divine, we punish ourselves if we have instincts to, for instance, eat meat. And I know this might be a very controversial post. It might evoke a lot of rage, a lot of indignation, and you know, everything is coming up right now for us to journey it to a place of acceptance within our own heart. Because if we're in judgment of each other, really it's a flag that there's inner judgment going on. You've probably heard that term when you're pointing the finger at someone else, you've got 4 fingers pointed back at you. So what we do is we judge others harshly in order to silence our own inner critic. So if you find yourself feeling very judgmental towards other people, this is a flag that the inner critic is very tyrannical within your psyche, and that in a way it's being abusive to you internally. And so this is an opportunity to heal the judgments you have of yourself, because the more that we can accept ourselves, both our shadow and our light, our animal self and our stellar self, the more we can be centered in who we truly are between the two and hold a space of acceptance and non-judgment for others. And this is the eye of the needle. This is the portal, the 4th dimension in the heart, that if we are in the heart, we will take that quantum leap into the new prophesied age of light for 2,000 years. And if we are still caught very much in the dualistic mindset of good and bad, sacred and profane, judging others in order to feel more justified that we are good, we are superior, we are pure, whether you are a Christian and you judge pagans, or you're a pagan and you judge Christians, or you're a vegan and you judge carnivores, or you're a carnivore and you judge vegans, you know, it's like all of this separation, they're constructs of the lower mind. And it's something which is being leveraged by those that own the media machine, which has hijacked our free communication highway, the World Wide Web, and is rampant in the corporate-owned commercial media. So it's very important that we learn the lesson of discernment, which is one of the strengths of the sacred masculine. And the hero's gate ushers in the sacred masculine. So we honor the return of the sacred masculine, whether you know him as the stag or the unicorn. And my latest book, The Grail, is dedicated to awakening the sacred masculine in the brotherhood, in the collective masculine, and in women as well, because, you know, our idea of gender has been distorted. And so it's understandable people are pushing back, rebelling, not wanting to identify as either gender and be gender neutral. But we have to heal our gender through understanding the polarities of feminine, masculine energies, active, receptive energies within us. If this is split, then we cannot function as a cohesive whole. Similarly, those that have been traumatized, the psyche splits into multiple personalities. This is, again, an instrument of war that has been used by the CIA, MK Ultra, to deliberately fracture people's psyches through torture so that they can program one aspect of the mind, an alter, if you will, an alter ego, and then suppress that part so that the other parts can function, not knowing of the heinous deeds the other one has been programmed to do. So, you know, there is nothing more potent we can do right now than to heal from trauma, to heal the psyche, to heal the energy body, and they're all connected. So my next 2 live events are dedicated to this. They are literally climbing the stairway to heaven. They're ascension, intensive, immersive experiences that I've been personally facilitating for years. The first one is happening September the 9th to the 16th, and this is for women, and we journey the 7 aspects that together comprise the feminine half of our psyche. It's called the Inner Goddess Retreat, because each one of our major energy centers is governed by one of the 7 feminine faces of the goddess, the 7 feminine archetypes. And each one has light and shadow aspects. So only by being initiated into understanding them and revering how both the light and the dark are teachers can we walk the middle path and be truly responsible for the light and the shadow aspects within us. So we're not unconsciously projecting our shadow onto others, and we are whole. So I invite you to check that out. It's on my website, themoonwoman.com. If you click on live events, you'll see retreats. The other retreat is for men and women, and it's called the Rainbow Bridge Retreat. And that's happening December the 2nd through to December the 9th. And this is during the window of Ophiuchus. This is the constellation of the awakened man. And the symbol for the awakened man is the father of modern medicine, Asclepius, holding the twin serpents of light up, showing that he has raised the meridians of sacred feminine masculine energies. And this is also the symbol shown on the final tarot card, the World, of the holy hermaphrodite, someone who has healed the feminine and masculine within to create the inner marriage, and is therefore an embodiment of the divine in a female or a male physical form, which is what is the definition of a god or a goddess. So this is a journey, again, up the chakras, but meeting and marrying the god and the goddess within the 7 gates, the 7 major energy centers, to create the inner marriage. And you will take vows at the end of this journey to honor your commitment to your soul. And this is the preparation for entering into sacred union with the beloved. And as I've spoken this year, it is a very auspicious year, 2022, 22 being the master number, one who has awakened, both the feminine and the masculine within themselves consciously, and learnt to balance those energies. So this is a very auspicious portal to be doing this work of inner alchemy. So blessings on your Lion's Gate today, wherever you are. I'm very excited to be flying to Bali tomorrow to get my retreat supplies to be able to offer these events in Byron Bay, Australia. This year, Byron Bay is the birthing portal for Australia. It's the most eastern gate, and traditionally was a meeting place, a place of corroboree, and a place where people would come for deep transformation and soul work. So I look forward, if you're called, trust the calling, follow the call. The ego will always offer the devil's bargain. Time and money are more important, but the soul, if we dare to follow the soul, we will experience a transformation that is beyond the measure of what time and money can even perceive as value. So blessings on your day, and thanks for tuning in. You're welcome to share this video if you know someone it would resonate with. Have a lovely day. Bye.